board division, actually you would be interested in knowing there are there are 1,211 items of 4-digit coordinates, such as Minister mentioned. And if you do a board division, of course, there are some items which have got changed today in the meeting. But those are few, about 10, 15 items have got changed from one to the other day. So I'm not covering that. But the statistics I have is that 60% of the items fall in 12% or 18%. So the two standard rates, the lower standard rate is 12% and the higher standard rate of 18%. 18%, 43% of the items fall into 18%. And in 12%, 17% of the items fall into that. Out of total 11 items, I'm just giving you the backup of percentage-wise. How many items fall into which category, right? So exemption list has got 7% items. That's the list of exemption has 7% of items, 4-digit code. 14% items fall in 5%. 15% items fall in 5%. 17% items fall in 12%, 17%. 43% items fall in 18% flat, 43% of items fall in 18% flat, and only 19% of the items, they fall in 28% flat. So this is a statistic. So basically, 81% of the total number of items are below 18 or below. About 81% of the items are 18 or below. Only 19% of the items fall in the 28% category. This is one statistic. Second statistic, I will give you that some of the items of essential commodity which are in the consumer price index, there is a huge reduction in the existing tax burden because of the either exemption or putting them in 5% rate. So some of those commodities I mentioned, for example, the hair oil, toothpaste, soap, etc. will now is like 18%, that is 28%. So there is a reduction of 11% almost in the existing incidence of these items. Okay? Then wood, right? I only said let me hair oil, toothpaste and soap, there will be 18%, so they will attract lower basis. Wood, of course, we have decided to exempt, so there will be a major reduction in wood. Okay, so that is one. Then, say for example, cereals. The cereals are here. Cereals. Well, cereals already had a very big incidence of present incidence was about 5% in terms of various other taxes, purchase tax, etc. And now there will be a reduction of this. Cereals are only 18%. But in the cereals category, the farmers who tax and branches, whether to put them in a separate packet of 5% or something else, that the council is going to decide. But cereals are all under exempt category now, and so the existing 5% incidence on cereals will go down. So the food grains will become important for that. That's the message that's there. And then, of course, among the other items which are for example, the sweet mix, mithai will be on 5%, that is something. And so the overall, there would be some reduction in the incidence of mithai also. And then coal, for example, this is a huge, big item of use for power sector as well as for industry also. The existing incidence is high, but still we have decided to keep coal at 5%. Existing incidence on coal of excise and VAT and everything put together is 11.69%, but we have decided to keep it at 5%. So there will be a reduction in the coal incidence. So it is at 5% now. So these are some of the items where there will be. There are 2-3 features. जो आज टैक्स लगता है, स्टेट और सेंट्रल टैक्सेस जहाँ पे लोग कंसोलिडेट होकर जीएसटी होगा, उसमें किसी भी कमोडिटी पे जो आज तय किया है टैक्स बढ़ा नहीं है. There is no increase. on many commodities there is a reduction, particularly because the cascading effect of tax on tax is gone. And several commodities, we have consciously brought down the tax which the Revenue Secretary just now mentioned. So in the overall basket, there would be a reduction, but we are banking on the hope that because of a more efficient system, evasion would be checked and tax buoyancy will go up. But despite reduction, the revenue neutrality and the tax buoyancy thereafter will be maintained. This is the broad principle that we have.
There are 4 other commodities I want to mention: sugar, tea, coffee and edible oil. Common man's item. Sugar, tea, coffee and edible oil. All of them are kept into 5%. Sugar, tea, coffee and edible oil. Of course, the instant coffee, etc. will fit into a different slab. But the coffee, normal coffee and normal tea and normal sugar and normal edible oil, that is all kept at 5%. Milk, of course, is exempt. So that's something which is also. Right? Cereals? What is the
Cereals.
What is the existing incidence?
No, sir. What is the CST?
Cereals will be in exempt list. Exempt list.
And what is the existing?
Sorry?
Existing incidence?
Existing incidence is about 5% on cereals.
exempted लिस्ट में होगा. अब एक विषय जो 6 विषय बचे हैं, उसमें से एक हेडिंग वो है कि सीरियल और अधिकतर फूड आइटम्स वगैरह एग्जेम्प्टेड लिस्ट में है. पैकेज और ब्रांडेड फूड्स का क्या करना है? दैट वी हैव टू सेपरेटली डिसाइड. वी आर येट टू टेक अ डिसीजन ऑन दैट.
Taxation will be 5% on coal, right? So where would the cess come into picture then? Because does it take environment cess?
That cess compensation is already there, 400 rupees, which will continue.
So
But
this is
on the base of existing VAT and excise duty, the rate of GST on coal will be 5%.
Coal is presently tax plus excise and tax at almost over close to 10%. That 10 will become 5. The 400 rupees per metric ton cess will continue. That cess will go into the compensation fund.
oh.
Basically, the broad picture is that some of the common names item of consumption such as toothpaste, etc., which were reflecting the normal rate of standard rate of 15% in the state and 12.5% in our state. Those items would have been fitted into 28, but they have gone to 18. Then the broad category is all capital goods and all industrial intermediates. All capital goods and industrial intermediates would go into 18 instead of 28.
अभी जो एक्टिव रेट आइटम्स थी 15%, 12.5%, प्लस कैस्केडिंग इफेक्ट है लोकल टैक्सेस को जरा 30-31%. तो 30-31% वाला उन सबको अच्छा है. उनमें से कुछ सेंटर ऐसे हैं जो ऑनलाइन के इस्तेमाल में आते हैं, उनको